Hello, guys and girls. So, if you've made it this far to this section, I want to really appreciate you all for believing and sticking around with me. Okay, so in this my seventh tutorial video, we are going on introduction to lists for my Python series for beginners. So, introduction to lists is very important. The list is very cool and it's very good, and have you need to have like knowledge on the basics of list. Okay, let's get started. So if you look right here, you can see how we go through all our videos, and I have comments so I can remember what I'm going to be working with in all my sections and all the things we're going to be covering in the video step by step. So I'll just zoom this up a little bit like this so you can see and our last practice. So lastly, before we start up, if you can do the practice yourself, you can see create an empty list, ask the user, many other things. So if you go through the practice and you can do it yourself, that means I think you're good with lists. You can move to my next video. But if you can't, sorry, you have to stick with me to the end so we can do the practice exercise together. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do, I like explain the list. So a list is a collection of items. It can be numbers, strings, etc. Lists are written with square brackets like this, no parentheses, curly braces, or anything. So it's with square brackets. So Python made lists a very cool and easy stuff to understand than writing all the like lists of this, list, new list, and stuff. So Python is a very cool and easy programming language. So firstly, that's all you need to know. A list is a collection of items that can be numbers, strings, and many other things. Then lists are written with square brackets. So firstly, creating a list is the first thing we're going to be covering. Creating a list, let's say, don't worry, we're going to be working like fruits, and since fruit is natural and many people will understand it using fruit, so I'll not just name it fruits because it might look a little bit confusing. I'll just call it my fruits like this. So my fruits is equals, let's make a list. To make a list, remember your square braces, and if it's a string or any data type, you have to verify, you have to like let Python know the data type you are trying to input. Like this now, the double quotes tells Python that it's a string, so we'll do apple with comma and banana with comma and cherry as well with comma, and yeah, those these three would work. So now let's print our list of fruits. So to print, we'll print my fruits like this. So if I should run this program, you'll see apple, banana, and cherry right here in this list. Like those basically have what we wrote here. Okay, but yeah, it just the quotes is now a single quotes when printing it out. So that's it. So that's just what it is in creating a list. The next thing is at accessing list items. So to access list items, take notes, index starts at 0, even in strings and list as well. So accessing list items, let's say in our fruits, in my variable my fruit, so we are going to be working with it in my list. So accessing list items, we have let's print print my fruits at index of 0. So what is my fruit at index of 0? So if you look, my fruit at index of 0 is apple, because computer starts with the first element, so it's apple. So if I should run this program like this, you'll see it gives apple. Yeah, so that's just assessing it. So if my fruit at index of 0 is apple, so if I should print my fruit at index of 1, so if I should run this, it's banana because of 0 1, so it's banana. Basically everyone's supposed to know it. So either I do at index of 2 and it gives cherry, or I do at index of -1. So if you don't understand index very well, I hope you check out my string manipulation video, my last video I did in string manipulation. So at -1 is this cherry. So if I run it, it still gives cherry because fruit at index of -1 is still cherry. So that's basically all you need to know in indexing list items. It's just cool and easy as well. So the next thing is changing list items. So changing list items, let's say we want to replace this banana with mango or any other fruit of your choice. So to change it, what we need to do is, firstly, we need to specify, I'll call my fruits at index. Which index is the thing we want to change? We want to change banana. Banana is at index of 1 because this is index of 0, index of 1. So we specify it at index of 1 is equal, so we replace it with mango like this. And now let's print the fruits, my fruits. So if I should run it, you see apple, mango, and cherry, and it's basically just replace banana with mango. Okay, so that does it for changing list items. So for the next one, we have adding items. Adding items. There are two ways to add items in a list. We have append and we have insert like this. So there are two ways. So I'll show you guys the two ways we are going to be appending items, adding items in my list. So we now have my fruits dot append. So append, what do you want to append? What it means initially, add to the end. Add to the end. That is what append means. So my fruits dot append, let's append orange. Now let's print my fruits like this. So if I should run the program, you see orange is added to the fruits. Apple, mango, because we replaced it with banana, cherry, and orange. So there's another way you can insert a add item to the fruits as well using the insert. So I just showed you the append. Now let's add item using insert. So to add item using insert, I'll do my fruits dot insert words 1, and let's say grape. Want to insert grape at index of 1. So you see what it does basically. So index is 1 and then grape. So now what we are going to do is let's print our fruit so you see what happens. I'll print my fruits and run the program again. So you can see now grape is at index of 1. It doesn't mean it's replaced our mango, it just moves our mango like a little bit so it can add the fruit at index of 1. So if you want to insert a certain item or element in a specific position, you use the insert. But if you just want to be throwing everything at the end, you use orange. Sorry, my bad. You use append. I've been talking a lot, so so you use append for the function append to add items to the end of the list. But if you want to add at a specific position, you use insert. That's how we made our grape to be at index of 1 right now, and we shifted our mango a little bit. Now our mango is at index of 2. So that's just basically it for adding items. Now moving on, we are going to go to removing items, like removing items. So there are 3 ways we can remove items in a list. The first one we have, I'll just comment it. So we have remove, and we have pop, and we have del. So these are the 3 ways you can remove an item from a list. Don't get confused. I will explain what each of them does. So the next one, for my fruits, I'll call my fruits dot remove. So now which fruit do we have? We have apple. If I want to remove apple, it's this one is removing by value. I'll add a comment, don't worry. So I'll print my fruits. So remove apple. Now if I remove apple, when I run my fruits, there is no longer apple, just grape, mango, cherry, and orange. So it's removed the apple. So remove the dot remove function, it's remove by value. So the dot remove function removes an object by the value. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is we are going to cover is pop. So what pop basically does, it pops out, it removes an an element by the index. Now if I call my fruits index, my fruit list, and I'll call it dot pop, what we are going to do is at index of words. So if you want to remove this grape, now the grape is at index of 0. So if I want to remove the grape, I'll call the index of 0. And now let's print my fruits like this. So if I should run this program, boom, there's no longer grapes in the list. So pop basically remove by index. So that's it. So the pop removes by index. So the next one I'm going to show you guys is del. So what the del does, it just deletes the last element of the list. So if I should I'll call, so to work with del, you do del and now call my fruits at index of -1. So the last element is -1. So if I should print my fruits, let me print my fruits. Now you see you have to find this orange because it's going to be deleted. So if I should run it, no longer orange, it's deleted. So basically then del deletes last element. So it's still like something similar to pop as well, but you can use anyone to remove, so it still works. So note remove by value, remove pop remove by index, and del delete last element. So the next thing we're going to be working on is looping through a list. So looping through a list like this. So looping through a list will have so it's just easy. We have done it in one of my tutorials as well, so you can check it out. So we have we use the for loop. So for every fruit in my fruit, then we'll print the value of all the fruits. And since we have removed most of our items, you just have like only 2 fruits remaining. If I should run it, you'll see just mango and cherry because it's our last. Let me reduce this a little bit, shift minus. So because it's our last fruit, so mango and cherry, yeah, because we have been deleting, removing, popping, so our last fruits are mango and cherry. So now we are looping through the list and it's giving us mango and cherry. So what it basically does is for every fruit in my fruit, it now access all the whole elements and print it out in the console. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be doing is checking if an item exists like this. So checking if an item exists, I would do if. What you just need to do is if mango, let me say mango, I think mango is still in our list. If mango in my fruits, then print, let's print, what should we print? Yeah, let me say yes, mango is in the list like this. So if I run this program, it gives yes, mango is in the list. And then if I say, let me say banana, it doesn't print anything. Oh, this one is just the list that we looped through. So it doesn't print anything. It just gives like an empty list. If I print is banana in fruits, yeah. Or maybe we can just say something like if banana in fruits, we'll just say we'll say no or something. So if I should no, I was making a mistake. Don't worry, it won't work. So if banana in fruit, so since banana is not in fruit, it doesn't print anything. Don't mind the cherry. This was our last program that I should be deleting soon. Okay, let me just delete our last thing that we worked on so it can be more understanding. Oh, now I can't access my list again. So yeah, that just what you need to do. So if we do like is mango in fruits and we run it, you see yes, mango is in the list and many other things. So again, we can also access the length of our list. It's just cool and easy. So we can just do print len of my fruits. So len using the len function. If I should run it, you see 2 because we now have like mango and cherry in the list. So it's just 2 elements in my list. So that's just basically it. So and the next one we're going to do, list can hold different types. I just want to show you guys that list can hold different types. Like let me say random list. I'll call it random list and it will be equals. So you use square braces for the list. It can hold 10. It can hold string. It can hold boolean value true. It can hold 3.14. So it can hold even floats. So it can hold integers, strings, boolean values, and floats as well. So if I should print my random lists, you see it still gives all the values as they are and as I give them. So another thing you have to know is that lists can hold different types. So the next one before we enter our practice, nested list inside lists. It's not good. It's just I just wanted to show you guys that it can be possible, but you won't be needing it much in Python. But I just wanted to show you guys that it's possible. So I have let me say I have let me call it list matrix. So it's mostly called matrix. So list matrix is equals, so I'll give my square braces. So this is a list. So list inside a list. So let me create another list inside my list matrix. So I'll create each individual list. So the first one, sorry, list, and I'll separate it by a comma. I'll just click enter, list, comma, and I'll click enter and list. So a list inside a list. So now let's give a value. Let's say this one have 1, 2, 3, and this one has 4, 5, 6, and this one has 7, 8, 9. Now if I should print, if you want to print a value, what you have to do is print list matrix. And what do we want to do? So to access it, we need like two boxes, two square braces to access each individual. One is for row and the other one is for column. So the first thing how we are going to access it is, now we want to get the list at index of 1. So which one is at index of 1? You can see this one. To make it more understanding, that's why I lined it like this. So if you see this one is at index of 0, and this one is at index of 1, and this one is at index of 2. So let's say we want to get this 6 in the list, just only this 6. What we're going to do is, so firstly we'll call this one is at index of 1, so we'll put it into like our rows right here. So if I call this, I'll put 1. So we have accessed this element here. So now we want to get the 6. Which index of is 6? 6 is 4 is 0, this one 1, and this one 2. So we now put it here 2. So if I should run this program, you'll see 6. So what else should we access to make it more fun? I would access, let's try to access 9. So to access 9, we'll do this one at index of 0, this one at index of 1, and this one at index of 2. So now we now replace this first one with 2, since this one is at index of 2. So now which element are we trying to access? This 9. So we'll do 0, this one is 0, this one is 1, and 9 is 2. So we'll now leave it as 2. So if I print this like this, it gives 9. So you can play around with it, do cool things with it, and it still works that way. Cool, and you understand it much better. Okay, so now time for practice time. Everyone should be ready. So next thing is create an empty list. Ask the user to input 3 favorite food. Ask them, add them into the list, print the first food and the last food. So these are the requirements for my practice exercise. Try it out yourself, and boom, if you get something cool in it, then you have a very great understanding. I'm ready to move on with list. Okay, I'll give you guys time and pause the video and do it yourself. Okay, I hope you're done. And note, my solution would be different from yours, and it might be different or it might not, but all the same, it still works. There are many ways to derive the answer. So firstly, I'll create a list called my foods, like this. Since they want create an empty list of favorite food, firstly the first requirement is create an empty list. So I'll say my foods, then ask the user to input 3 favorite food. So I now say, I'll call it user because I like to be specific. User food 1 is equals input, enter your favorite food. Sorry, let me call it like first. Enter your first favorite food, like here. Okay, so the next thing I would do is I'll copy this. So since they say we needed like 3 inputs from the user, so I'll copy this and put this here and put this here as well. So I'll name this one user food 1, user food 2, and user food 3. So enter your first favorite food, enter your second favorite food, and enter your last favorite food. Okay, so then the next requirement is add the user's input into the list. So we see we have like an empty list, so now time to add it. So we'll now add so we'll call them my foods dot append. We're using the append to add this time around. So append, what do we want to use? We'll append the first one, append user food 1, then the same thing, my foods dot append user food 2, then my foods dot append user food 3, like this. So that's, we have met the first requirement, the second one, the third one, add them into the list, and we are appending all the foods inside our empty my foods array. So we are appending the user's first food, second one, and the third user's food as well. So, and then what did I say at the end? Print the list. Okay, so let's print the list. We just print your favorite foods are then let's just print the list of food of my foods. So now after I finish appending, our first requirement said we should print the list. Okay, so we have printed the list, and now what else? Let's say print the first food and the last food. So now time to print the first food and last food. How will you access the first food and the last food? So let's print first food. So what's the first food? How will you access it? So I'll call my foods list, and I will specify at index of 0. So the first food is the food at index of 0, and the last food, I will now say last food would be my, sorry, not point, comma, my foods at index of -1. So that's basically it. We have met all your requirements. You can see very smooth. Create an empty list. Ask the user to input 3 favorite foods. That's it right here. Add them into the list. We added it. Print the list. We printed it. And then print the first food and the last food. So this is basically the solution. So if you got something like this or something similar to this, then you're very good with list, and you have learned something in this video. So if I should run this program, I'll just minimize it a little bit like this, and if I should run this program, shift F10, run it. So my first favorite food would be chicken wraps. My second favorite food, I'll say pizza. I don't know. The next one, I'll say burger or something. Then hit it up. So you see, your favorite foods are chicken wraps, pizza, and burger. Your first food, chicken wraps, last food, burger. So that's just basically the solution to it. And if you got something like this, you're very good to go, and that's very nice of you. So play around with it, do cool stuff with it, and make sure you test your understanding in it. Okay. So that comes to the end of introduction to list. We're making progress. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, your feedback helps me create better content for you all. And see you in my next tutorial. Don't miss out on it. Okay.